and welcome to That Computer Is Your Mom. This is Allie.
And Josh.
And today we have a special guest.
Adam.
Who is our resident expert in
Sinology, gemology, and holography.
What is sinology?
The study of China.
Okay.
Because this episode, Gem and the Holograms, Season 1, Episode 10,
Adventures in China. Yes. And Adam is Josh's brother.
Yes.
That is also true.
And our biggest fan.
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly our biggest fan and most loyal listener.
Yeah.
Okay, so Adventures in China. First of all, better or worse than the World Hunger Shindig?
Better.
Better.
Better than the World Hunger Shindig?
Yeah. Let me move this a little bit closer to you.
Okay.
In terms of, paternalistic, racist undertones.
Yeah. That was the part that we liked the least of the World Hunger Shindig.
We were not fans.
In the parlance of the day, it was problematic.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so...
No, I did not see World Hunger Shindig.
You did see a musical number from it.
I did see the musical number. In terms of logistics and plausibility, how does this rank relatively? Because it's like...
There was some wonky stuff going on with the time frame in this episode.
China does not work that way, and causality does not work that way.
No, and the earrings don't work that way within the context of the show, but we'll get to that part. First of all, I want to address the fact that Adam has notes. Adam has
this is important,
done homework and written notes about the gem episode, which we literally never do.
I don't mess around.
We can't be bothered to remember what characters' names are.
No.
To be fair, neither can the show producers.
Yeah.
That's true. And this is an episode before we get into the recap. This is the episode where you understand why I was like, shut up, Kimber.
Yeah. Kimber just got real annoying in this episode.
Out of the blue, Kimber's suddenly the worst. And it's just because she just yells outrageous over and over again.
Yeah. And doesn't really do anything else in this episode.
No.
Did any of the other... Okay, so there was...
The others express interests. One of
there was
do
one
I
that
remember
is...
my Chinese? And
well, they're very much we're going to China. Remember, here's a heavy sledgehammer to the head. Aja is Asian, and apparently, I guess Chinese.
Is that explained at some point? I don't
Well,
remember.
I don't know why she would be able to read Chinese if she was...
Because she's Asian?
I guess. I have a little concern about that.
Well, if you were from an adjacent country, you might learn Chinese, wouldn't you?
I mean, maybe. Also, I think she was adopted as a child by
that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Mr. Benton.
Right. Wait, did he adopt all of the children?
He adopted Aja and Shayna.
Was that explained?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
But they are all sisters. This is why in the first episode I had this huge problem with why is Jerica inheriting everything and none of her sisters?
Because they're actually adopted.
Well, yeah, I mean, and her...
And Kimber is just a full
she's
sister,
just
right?
Yeah. A birth sister.
I mean, maybe their father, like everyone else, thought Kimber was the worst and just disinherited her.
Maybe so. Okay, so let's see. We start on an image of a plane that says...
Airplane.
Yeah, Air China.
They're flying in Gem
Mm-hmm.
and the Holograms.
Right. And
the Misfits.
Right, who are in coach, apparently.
In coach. But, one thing, the Holograms are the world's most popular musical act being brought on a command performance by the government of China to China.
Yeah.
And they're flying...
Commercial.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Misfits are the world's...
Second. Yeah.
Most popular
true?
band?
Yeah, no, according to the lore of the show, they're basically I don't know, Beyonce and Rihanna. And I don't think Beyonce flies
I don't think so.
on a commercial.
They do a weird thing with the Misfits where they are simultaneously rich and therefore spoiled, and also
always playing a second
tacky in a like way that seems like poor people.
And they're like, and like nothing against poor people because I am a tacky poor person, but by my background. So, but the way that poor people are portrayed,
Yeah.
yes,
That's what I mean. They're like
Yeah.
sort of given the signifiers of poor people, even as
like illiteracy.
Yeah, even as what's her name? Pizzazz is portrayed as being super rich,
she's the like daughter of an oil baron.
right?
Yeah, and like, okay, can we just pause for a second and address the most important part of the episode, which is like, what the fuck is Pizzazz wearing? Like,
At what point?
the
Her Fred Flintstone cheek later on, or
yes,
her...
that one. The like, she's wearing a sort of like
It's orange with black spots.
yeah, it's a bodycon dress with like orange with black spots and like a high neck pink neck ruffle, and then like a double ruffle at the bottom, and it doesn't look good on her, and she's a cartoon, so like it's like very not good. But and yeah, so okay, so they're on the plane, and Rio is with Jem is flying as Jem.
For whatever reason,
Right, and Rio's there. Nobody's wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah.
it's fine.
And then the stewardess is like, you know, hey, FYI, the Great Wall of China.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal. Is Beijing anywhere near the Great Wall of China?
I did not research that in preparation for this episode. I was like, I think there's some fractured geography, but I'll allow that in the continuity of this show, it may not be.
Yeah, we'll say like wherever they are. Like they're supposedly in Beijing.
I want to say it would be further west, but
and then like they are also at the Summer Palace, but then they're also at the Great Wall of China. Here's the thing about
that's a whole bunch of Buddha statues.
Here's the thing about Chinese geography.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I can't make fun of them for that.
We'll
because I don't
give you
know.
a buy on this one, Jim, in the holograms.
Yeah, but they definitely want you to know the Great Wall of China is a BFD.
Yes.
So then what happens?
Well, Rio is like, oh, I wish that Jericho could be here. And
That bitch always wants what he can't have.
What?
He's like when Jarek is there, he's like, but where's Jim? And when Jim's there,
Well,
he's like, but where's
He's
Jericho?
just very confused.
see, I'm picturing that scene playing out like, later on, that night we'll say, Jem is like crushing his balls in some S&M theme thing. It's like he's trying to convince himself that he enjoys it, and he's like, oh, I wish Jericho could be here. She always enjoys, trampling my genitals with her massive heels. And she's like, oh, she won't miss it. Don't worry. Wink.
That one a place I wasn't expecting. But continue. Okay, so anyway.
Is that in the notes?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's in your notes. Wonderful. So they're going through customs. There's a metal detector to leave the airport, which I've
Why not?
never
Yeah.
seen.
Well, that's how they do it in China.
Sure. Oh, and I think Rio's like, oh, it's like such a big deal to get this like gig in China.
Yeah.
Because
they don't let you in China normally.
right, because no one can go to China.
Well,
Sure.
for another thing, they said that the Misfits, what's his name, Eric Raymond, is it?
Eric
Yeah.
Raymond,
Was
the one guy whose name I can remember.
was saying how difficult it was to get the Misfits to be able to do a tour in China
Just say tour, yeah.
does.
while the Jem and the Holograms are doing a concert at the Great Wall.
Right.
And so we'll get back to the tour business, but
Are
I
you
have to
thinking
make
that a tour sounds like a bigger deal since it would have multiple engagements?
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Maybe it's supposed to be a big like arena concert as
Yeah.
opposed to maybe
Also,
they're
I
playing...
don't think they let you do a concert on their like historical monuments.
well, see, the thing that was bothering me was,
Also, it didn't look like the Great Wall when
No,
they were
it
up
didn't
there
really.
no,
in
not
any
really.
way.
Not
It's
really.
not that wide.
Yeah, the Misfits. Okay, I have to imagine that it's like the Chinese government loves the TV show House of Cards and lets it show on their airwaves because it's great anti-capitalist propaganda.
Sure.
And I have to imagine that the Misfits are a similar situation where they're like, look at these decadent Westerners that are doing reckless endangerment like every 5 minutes and.
To be fair, that's kind of true of Gem and the Holograms as well.
Yes and no. I mean, I also have a hard time buying that they're poaching each other's concerts because, it's like the Misfits are like, oh, you think you're hardcore because you bite the heads off of bats? You don't know nothing about the Misfits. I kill like 5 people every day before breakfast. And
she kind of does.
If they don't, it's only by random chance.
You would think, this is the thing about, like, working, I don't know, in any kind of creative outlet or anything. Like, it seems like half of, like, getting new jobs is showing the fuck up for the last job. And Gem and the Holograms are constantly, like, they have someone there who's like, please, I know they're late, please, just wait. This, like, just wait plot has been, like, the plot of, like, the majority of, like, the episodes so far.
Yes, so, like, the Misfits are probably on whatever the 1988 equivalent of terrorist watch lists were.
Oh my god.
And, the Holograms are like, well, they only show up to half their concerts or something like that.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, they always show up eventually. They just always show up late.
Do you think that people, like, just figure that the Misfits are their, warm-up act or whatever, that...
They were supposed to be, in one of the episodes, they were supposed to be the opening act.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, apparently the show doesn't know what opening act means. Because they're like, we're going to go on first. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, you're the opening act. That's how that works. So, yeah, the whole thing was very weird. Okay, so they're at customs. And they're going to go through this random metal detector because of reasons. Mm-hmm. And Gem's like, and the, like, very angry Chinese guys, like, remove all your jewelry. We are definitely in extremely suspect accent land.
We're gonna stay there the whole episode?
We do. And, okay, and then what happens, Josh?
Well, the guy says you can't enter China unless you check all of your jewelry.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to go through it.
Including the hologram generating.
We have a strict hologram generating jewelry checking policy.
And as I think all of us thought, like, can't she just take the earrings off?
Because, as we've established, she has before, and she will in this very same
episode. It continues to generate the hologram even if she's not wearing them.
Another thing, could the holograms just, like, put a hologram over the earrings?
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah, she could just hologram naked ears over her fucking earrings.
I think she's done something like that before, too.
Yeah.
I mean, not that specific thing, but something pretty much the same.
There's, like, no reason for this to happen. And because she's, like, multiple times she has taken the hologram earrings off. And... whatever.
Now, is our prediction going to be that in future episodes, the Misfits will completely forget that they were able to successfully shut down...
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they made the connection that it, like, completely... Well, they did, though. Somehow they figured out that this, like, completely disabled Gem and the Holograms.
It's their kryptonite, yeah.
They didn't ever really, like, kind of pause and say, why was it that removing the earrings caused them to freak out and cancel their...
And why did Gem disappear and why did Jerica appear?
Yeah, they didn't really contemplate that.
They're not like a pause and reflect kind of
No.
group.
They're not introspective, no.
No, not at all.
But it just seems like it would be very confusing.
They are, in fact...
That she wouldn't just be upset or something, but that it just caused the whole thing to collapse.
I have always thought when I look at the Gemstar earrings that they look like they would be stabbing you in the neck. Like, they're so pointy.
Do you remember that episode of The Simpsons with the jagged metal crustio? That's what they look like to me.
No, I do not remember that. Okay, so basically what happens is, for no internal logic reason, Jem makes a big deal about these earrings.
Arousing suspicions in the Misfits.
Yes, and the Misfits notice. And they're like, wait a minute.
So while driving four abreast in the backseat of a car with plenty of space to spare, they hatch a clever plot.
Mm-hmm.
Were all four of them in the backseat of the car?
Yes.
I didn't notice that.
It's easier to draw it that way, probably. This show will spare no ability to draw something in a lazy way. So what do they do?
Their clever plot is, while the holograms are taking a mineral bath fully clothed...
How do they even know they're going to do that?
Suits.
No, Jerrica is wearing the exact same thing that she's wearing her street clothes.
When Jerrica de-gemifies,
Yeah.
she's in her, like, Chinese sort of attire.
You're right. That's a good point.
So that's what I was thinking. If
So
it's just
she
like,
had an illusory bathing suit, but was actually fully clothed.
as were all of the others.
That's super weird.
So that's what I was wondering, like, are they robots? Is this like a mineral oil bath or something like that? that they're like, this human bath is refreshing. Right? It's, yeah.
Of all
Needless to say, it makes no
the
sense.
stereotyped wrong things that I think that I know about China and don't, mineral baths?
No, I never heard of
I mean,
that
if
about
I was
that.
going to be making stereotypical, racist generalizations, that's not what I would have thought of.
No, and it just looked like a pool.
It did.
Like, they were just like,
Mm-hmm.
the soothing famous mineral baths
Yeah.
of China. And you're like, that's
oh
not
yeah, when you go to China, you go for the mineral water.
okay.
And the fresh air, I guess.
I mean, I guess they thought.
Yeah.
They thought, since they hit that Great Wall of China thing so hard, they could just make up whatever else they wanted.
I mean,
Maybe
no,
that is a thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
we never
Yeah.
saw, like, terracotta soldiers.
No,
we never
that's
saw.
true.
Did we see, a dragon float in a parade or anything?
No, but we did see a lot
We
of
saw
acrobats.
acrobats.
Yes.
No,
And just
I remember
like-
there being a dragon.
and kung fu fighters.
yeah,
I mean, it's like if they'd had a Paris
one of
episode.
whom rings a gong.
Yes.
Yes, a lot of kung fu fight. Yeah, it's like if they'd had a Paris episode where they show the Arc de Triomphe, but not the Eiffel Tower, and you're like, what the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they have had a Paris episode, and they definitely showed the Eiffel Tower.
They
all
showed it
over the
so
place.
many times.
Of course they did, because you do.
Yeah. They're like, hey.
Every single window, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then Zipper tried to drop a
Gargoyle
gargoyle on them.
It's true. Okay.
Which there's some parallels to that, but we'll get to that in.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So, okay,
Zipper
yeah,
was
because
sorely
I
missed in
feel like
this
this
episode.
mineral bath is like the place where I like start having like serious,
Your brain starts falling out of your ear.
yeah, because it's like, okay, number one, mineral baths, like I don't understand. Like number two, as you say, like are they all wearing their street clothes? Yeah, and then it's just like, okay, so Kimber's like, come into the mineral bath. It's outrageous.
It is outrageous.
No, this actually was not one of the outrageouses. The three outrageouses in this episode.
Oh my god, you wrote them down.
Entering China was the first outrageous.
Uh-huh.
Is it the Great Wall or just China in general?
Just entering China after they had gotten off the airplane and were
Oh.
entering into the airport proper.
Oh, we missed a thing, but go ahead and finish your list.
Let's see here. Being exonerated by the museum curator later was outrageous. And the Ming Dynasty historical artifacts must be outrageous.
I
Right.
can't believe that she only said it 3 times.
It seemed like so many more. But I'm sure you're right, because you took notes and we didn't. So, okay, so when they're coming off the plane, and everyone's like, Jem, 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 and we, like, hold on, like, Chekhov's moppet. Lynn. And then the Misfits come off the plane, and there's, like, 3 people holding a banner that says Misfats.
Yeah. They lament that Jim has upstaged them already.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that that's not completely evidenced by what we've seen, because, it's like, in China, you got a crowd of a dozen guys. Okay, nobody cares.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
They've got a billion
Misfits was
people and they
pretty
can only
funny.
spare 12.
But, like, also, like, they're like, oh, they got it wrong. And it's just like, well, you don't speak
It's
English.
not their first
like,
language.
Sure.
You know,
It's pretty close.
yeah, as you often want to say to Pizzazz, stop being such a dank. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, okay, so I just wanted to mention the Misfats thing because I thought it was kind of funny. Yeah, so
Pizzazz did not think it was funny.
Pizzazz doesn't think anything's funny unless it's someone else getting almost murdered.
Well,
Yeah.
to that point, you know, one of my theories that I presented to Josh a while back was that the Misfits, they're, you know, the amount to which they're divorced from reality
Uh-huh.
can only be sustained with people enabling them. And my theory was that, you know, they are the show. You know, when you see these people that are completely off their rocker and, you know, it's like when whatever property damage they do, Eric Raymond knows, yes, I just made bank because
They're like proto-reality stars.
yeah, every time they hit the tabloids,
Yeah.
that's another, you know, $1 million in the bank, and he's like, you know, whatever property damage they do, I can pay for it.
Yeah, I'll cover it.
I just have to keep telling them that that the holograms are more popular than them, and, you know,
Or he'll just embezzle more money. That's the other.
just embezzle more money. Yes.
That's the other thing that he likes to do.
Well, he's probably embezzling money from them that they don't realize that they're already like billionaires because.
It's so natural to him that he like doesn't even realize he's doing it. He's just absorbing money from places he shouldn't be getting it from. Okay, so the mineral bath. So
One of the
Kimber,
Misfits-
like they're like peer pressuring her into the
Yeah.
mineral bath, and so
She's not into it.
no, and so she takes off the Gemstar earrings,
but not her, street clothes.
but
Or
like
it's probably
She
not even
just
her.
takes off her fake clothes. I didn't even
I-
think about that at the time, but it's super weird that she's even like
I don't think-
undressing her fake clothes.
I don't think she even takes off her shoes.
No, but she takes off the like hologramic outer garment so that she's wearing a hologram bathing suit.
right, and she says in direct opposition to the thing that we saw like 3 minutes before.
Yeah.
She takes off the Gemstar earrings
And it maintains her.
and maintains the illusion, which is just like, bitch, just go through customs. What the fuck?
Furthermore, she maintains the illusion in front of her friends.
Yeah. It's true. What does she have to gain from this?
Yeah.
Unclear.
Unclear. so many questions. And so then what happens?
At any rate, one of the Misfits.
Roxy.
Roxy.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, you gonna obstruct the recorder?
This is our scheduled cat break. Hi, cat. Are we able to?
I'll get him.
Okay.
He's gonna sit on the recorder like a dick. All right, there we go.
He is a dickish cat.
He
Yeah.
kind of is.
So Roxy, you said?
Roxy.
Roxy music.
She comes in and snatches the earrings that have been set aside
And-
so that they're not damaged by the mineral water.
And Jim's illusion.
Yeah, and the gem illusion
Dissipates.
disappears.
I guess she like gets far enough away. It's like Wi-Fi.
I
Like maybe
guess
she
so.
gets far enough away that she's like doesn't have a signal anymore.
I mean, we're assuming that the earrings, well, they project.
They project
somehow.
light in ostensibly.
sound.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
There's no hologram sound.
Did your hologram
That's not a
boob
thing.
lady have sound?
No,
For-
none of those had sound.
I mean, there's also like the tiny logistical things where like, the sort of energy density that would be required for that. Her ears would be like combusting.
I thought about that. It's true. Yeah.
You thought about her ears catching fire?
I was just like, if you put your laptop on your lap for 5 minutes, you're
No,
like,
that's
you're like,
true.
I'm gonna die.
And just how loud are these noises that these holograms right next to our ears are emitting?
Well, and also like synergies in America. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, how far can she project holograms? Can she project the hologram of Jem on the moon?
Is this how Skynet starts?
It might be.
Yeah.
it might actually be how Skynet starts. And, like, yeah, okay, I don't understand. It's still her mom. By the way.
We'll get there.
Will we?
We'll keep telling ourselves we'll get there.
It's gonna happen.
If it's not in the... If we get to the last episode, next to the last episode, and it's not there, we'll just be like, I think that's enough of it.
Yeah, that's when I will be proven wrong. Okay, so Jerica's like, oh no, and then she sort of like looks around like really ineffectually, and then then what happens?
They get to the show.
Yes.
They were going to perform, and Jim is like, something bad has happened.
Right.
What sort of bad?
They can't
Big bad.
perform.
Super bad.
People accept very vague explanations from her pretty regularly.
Devil plus ungood this concert now.
Yeah, I think the guy is kind of like, you are not honorable.
Which
is fair.
Yeah. I won't dispute it.
There's no arguing with that guy.
And then
the Misfits swoop in.
Now, okay, so there's this thing where, like, there's some Chinese talent shows where they'll, like, grab foreign entertainers, bring them on basically false pretext, and set them up to fail so that they can be beaten by Chinese citizens. Oh. You know, they'll be like, so we need you to, you know, pull the largest tablecloth, you know, without unsetting the silverware. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. And then they get there and it's like, okay, actually, it's the most in 50 seconds. And he's like, I didn't practice for that. Well, you will do this, or else things will be bad for you.
Oh, no.
So I'm wondering if, you know, that's... You kind of get a little bit of that vibe. They're like, oh, bad performance. Well, if only we had an alternate act. Oh, we're the Misfits! God damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the Misfits.
I heard on This American Life that there's a thing where, like, in China, they really like to hear, like people who aren't Chinese, like, sing. Like, there was this woman who was, like, in a mall, and then, like, suddenly, like, got to be on, like, America's, like, or, like, China's, like, top singer. And she's like, I can't even sing. And that they like to hear, like, people who don't, like, Westerners try to sing in Chinese because they think it's hilarious. And they're like, look at how dumb you look. And so, I don't know. Just singing in China, that's what made me think of it. But, okay, so...
Oh, I told them to say, Misfits, then Puppet Show.
Yes. And then,
They're on a boat singing Misfits?
No, are they? No, I think
In
it's
this
just a
episode?
stage.
Yeah,
It looked like a boat to me.
Did it look like a boat? Okay, so...
It's just a weird kind of stage, I think.
So as they're singing, and they're taunting them.
Winning is everything.
And then they're singing Winning is Everything, which is one of my personal favorites. That's... What do they notice? Jerica notices.
That all three Misfits are wearing earrings like hers.
Mind that only one pair is legit.
Right.
They had time.
They had to... Well, that's why they went to the jewelry store, and they had their driver... When they were all sitting four abreast in the back of the car, they were like, Eric Raymond said, take us to the nearest jewelry store.
Oh, did he?
And and then the driver was like, oh shit, and he's like swerves around and like gets them there lightning fast, apparently. Okay. And I guess the jewelers also work at that, like a comparable speed. Whenever somebody tells them to do something, they're like, we've got to do it as though
I guess I would explain
our
how
lives
they can
depended on it.
pump out 1 million in a day, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're, so basically I guess they wait until the show's over and confront them?
Yeah.
And then what happens when they confront them?
A musical number.
You're missing Rio's best line. Of
Oh, what happens? Tell me.
I wish someone would tell me what's going on.
That's like basically him for the whole episode, insofar as he has any part to play at all.
That is his character arc for the entire show.
It's kind of funny that he seems like he's kind of supposed to be the like heartthrob guy, but actually he's just like whiny and confused.
He's like a three-legged dog.
Yeah.
He is like, I really believe that that they've sort of set this up in a like regular kind of heroic paradigm, and so that like Rio functions as the annoying girlfriend who gets in the way. Like,
Right.
they're like, shut up, go away, you're bothering me. And then
Yeah.
sometimes they're like, please tell me stuff. And it's just like super weird because she also has to like let him rescue her sometimes, but most of the time she's like, get out of my way, loser. Okay, so
So
Or
chase
like
scene.
poor stupid Rio.
yeah. And
Which,
they're like,
to be fair,
it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's a
I like.
accurate
I really
characterization.
enjoyed the episode where Rio was like, oh, like tells his girlfriend that another woman is like some kind of beautiful dream, and you're like, are you stupid? Like, you don't do that. Okay, so
chase scene scored to. Thoughts on the music?
Which one?
well, they can
the chase.
before that they confront them, and they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna chase them to get the earrings back, and that is what prompts the music video.
Yeah.
The "You'll Never Catch Me" song by the Misfits.
Yes, and that they originally go off in a rickshaw.
Yes.
And I'm just sort of like, why are you making this poor guy
And chase-
beat
and
ass to like go?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
The Misfits lead in the rickshaw, and the Holograms pursue in the rickshaw.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. And then there's like bikes.
What are you gonna go to China and not ride around in a rickshaw? That doesn't make any sense.
Let's try it, Lashe.
And then they kind of get to a point where, oh,
Come on, Kitty. Don't do that.
what even happened?
I don't know.
Okay,
She knocked something off.
she did knock something over. She looks like she's attempting to maybe knock over some other things, so that'll be fun. All right, so after the song ends,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about the song? It's a Misfits song. I don't think it was their best work.
No,
I liked the part
It's
where
not-
they jump off the Great Wall of China.
that's true. It's no welcome to the jungle.
So then there's a part where it looks like maybe they cut out some plot.
It really does.
Well, are you just speaking about the statues? Or
Yeah.
Okay, don't forget their the gondola lift pursuit, where they're like, "Hey, you think you'll get us or whatever? Try this on for
Oh
size."
yeah,
And
that gondola pursuit thing. They got through that really fast. Like
Yeah.
they did the same thing in an episode of the X-Files, and it took like 10 minutes at least.
But like, while Jim and the Holograms are on the gondola, and the Misfits like on the next gondola up, and they like start sabotaging the controls.
Oh,
to-
the gondola, the like sky
yeah,
thing.
the ski lift type thing.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, they didn't go to Venice. Like, what are you talking about gondolas? I got confused. Yeah, the sort of sky buggy
Because that
things.
was the first major instance of reckless endangerment and
of
sabotage,
attempted murder.
followed by
Yes,
Aja.
it's Aja. Yeah.
Knocking.
So we come back in the middle of Aja climbing a cliff,
Yeah.
and it's not.
And all of the other holograms just on the ground kind of looking at her doing this.
like, you got this, Aja.
And then all of the misfits at the top of this cliff.
Like, she probably
looking
won't
down
die.
at- Yeah. Like, why Aja decided to, like, press on when nobody else was is a total mystery.
But at any rate, there's
Yeah.
a precariously perched Buddha statue
Yeah. Probably
above another
priceless.
larger Buddha statue, I guess.
Yeah. And it
Um,
just falls and is destroyed.
it seems like it's going to come down.
And nobody
on people.
cares at all.
No, they just move on.
Welcome to your cultural heritage destruction.
Yeah.
Good job, you guys.
Yeah.
They present it as if it looks like people are going to die, but they're like, it
that
missed.
that is what they often do. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like
because it was a commercial break.
Yeah, it was at the commercial break, and then they're on a train.
Yeah.
Also, like, there's no indication of like how they got to the cliff, and why she's climbing up the cliff, and then there's like no indication of how they got from the cliff to the train.
No. I guess it's real unclear, like, how much time is passing throughout the episode.
Don't they say that the concert is like more or less the same day?
Do they? That doesn't... I mean, they might, but...
It kind of has a same day vibe for much of it.
But it's definitely not the same day.
No.
In any sensible world, no, but...
Well, I mean, like the... Well, I guess we gotta get there.
Okay, so they're on the train. And we first see, like, the misfits, and they're like, haha, we got away from them. Fuck those people.
Mm-hmm.
And then, shaboom, the door opens, and Jarek is like, bitch, give me back my shit!
She's like, you'll never get by me. And then they get by her.
Yeah, and then they just shove
They just,
her,
like, walk towards her forcefully.
Oh, we
and
were not prepared for this.
Yeah, they weren't prepared for it.
then they just shove her, like very, like, you know, I guess Twiggy self out. I don't know why I say that she's Twiggy. They're all Twiggy. But, like, I guess, like, Pizzazz is just super forceful.
Yeah.
And Jarek is like, ah. She's, like, not used to standing her ground.
No.
And then what happens?
They all throw their gem star earrings out the windows of the train at various points.
Different windows.
Different windows. And they fall all into very precise places. They don't just, like, fall into the water or the dirt or something. All of them go into, like, receptacles of one kind or another from which somebody is going to find them.
Yeah, so just to give you the what happens to them. One pair found in an archaeological expedition and placed in a museum.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Second pair sold at auction and used as the template for millions of mass-produced facsimiles, ads for which appear in a newsstand magazine the same day.
Immediately.
And
Well, apparently the same day. I mean, there's never any indication of how much time has passed.
again, yeah. The third used as a marketplace trade good and eventually found by a garbage man to give to his gem fanatic daughter Lynn, as previously seen in the episode.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Chekhov's
Yeah.
Moppet.
yes, Chekhov's Moppet. Now, 2 points. Okay, one, if Jim and the Holograms is the most popular band on Earth, how did it not occur to the factory owner to start churning out millions of mass-produced facsimiles of the Gemstar earrings before this very moment?
It's a good question. This is really the first episode when anyone said, "Hey, Jem wears those earrings constantly."
I think I predicted for this episode that there was going to be like a Red Scare. There totally wasn't.
No.
But there was a lot of, like, anxiety about Chinese mass-produced goods.
That's true. They're
But-
just like, "Oh, we can mass produce these. We can make 1 million of them tomorrow."
So that's why I'm just wondering if this is like Jim and the Holograms has completely abandoned causality and like
To abandon it, they would have had to have been adhering to it in the first place, which they never were. Okay, so we basically see these, like, 3 scenarios play out, and
to a mournful musical.
oh yeah, we have a musical interlude. The something is missing in my life.
Oh yeah.
And it's earrings. The answer is earrings.
Hologram projecting earrings.
The answer is material possessions.
Sure,
I think the answer in this show is always material possessions.
it's true.
I don't
Or,
even
like,
know what
fame.
toys. What toys were they selling?
They were selling, like, Barbie kind of.
Dolls?
Yeah.
Earrings, maybe.
Oh, what, Hasbro?
Yeah.
No, they were selling like a Barbie competitor.
Okay.
I don't even think you
You
could
could
get.
buy the Roadster, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you could buy the Gemstar earrings though. Although I have bought similar.
Seems like they
I have
should
I mean,
have.
you've got like that thing on your wall that kind of looks like Gemstar earrings.
It's true.
We do, and I definitely wore like pink star earrings,
Mm-hmm.
and like even like in my 20s, I found like these pink star earrings, and I was like, I'm Gem, look at me. And like be like Showtime synergy, and then and my best friend was like tee hee hee because we both knew about this show. Okay, so
This show would be a very good early introduction to irony in a young girl's life.
Alright, so basically Jerica's like gives up.
Yeah. Yeah, she just gives up.
She just gives up.
She's just like, well, let's do tourist stuff. The others seem to want to do stuff.
And Aja's like, hey, you guys, remember how I'm Asian?
Yeah.
That's my defining
And
characteristic.
they're all like, kind of.
Yeah.
We're having an Asia episode, so
Yeah, and
it's
so
my moment. It's my time
she's
to
like,
shine.
let me buy this magazine because I speak Chinese,
Make
remember?
sure I can
But she
still-
doesn't speak any Chinese in the show.
No.
Read
Maybe she
that.
can just read Chinese.
Is the only Chinese in the episode when those people are speaking 1, 2, 3, 4 and
Yes.
while doing kung fu and then get their asses
Oh, we
whooped by...
forgot about that because that's how they got away.
They got their asses whooped by the misfits
Oh,
who were
yeah.
also in the, kung fu G's and...
Yeah, and then they
just randomly kick a guy.
Pizzazz just like kicks a dude, and he's like, "Hey, we were doing kata. Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, "Oh well, I guess I'll have to brush up on my kung fu." And then it's like literally almost like someone says, "Womp womp."
And then they're still in the...
They're still wearing the gi.
When they're, shoving Buddha statues on people. But
Were they?
Yeah,
Oh.
all three of them. It's like super random.
It does seem like a chunk of it was cut out there.
But anyway,
Okay.
the magazine.
Yes. And Aja reads it, and she's like, "Hey, look, it's the Gemstar earrings, and there's an address." And then what happens?
They get them.
They, well,
They go to the address,
which is a factory.
which is a factory.
They speak to the line manager
Mm-hmm.
who directs them to the factory manager,
Right.
which makes you wonder, were both of those scenes necessary?
Right, yeah. No, there was definitely some filler in this episode.
The answer is, in some capacity, yes.
Yeah. And he's like,
Not narratively.
he
but
gives
yes.
them back the gem earrings because he's like, they've already brought me much
much
wealth. And you're like, who? How? Like, how many? Okay,
But
fine.
well, this is where he explicitly states that they're making millions of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the time frame we have been... Certainly the context has led us to believe that this is all on the same day.
I mean, I believe, at least in the 80s, most of the people, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the people in China still couldn't really afford a lot of the things that they were mass producing.
Yeah, but... I mean, like, Mom was a 4th grade teacher and got the Oriental Trading Post magazine, and, back then, they were mass-producing goods for sale in the West, and...
I'm just like, it
And-
seems like it would have taken more than one day.
Oh,
to like,
no friggin' doubt.
to like
To
get
establish something as a bestseller.
It will have taken more than the 5 minutes that they're allotted.
I know, and where it's just like, oh yeah, we like totally, like Star Trek transporters zapped these things to like Europe and America, and
They're tribbles.
they're a big hit.
So to squeeze this really implausible thing in there, it seems like somebody really wanted to like show like China mass producing something, because I guess they felt like the China episode would be incomplete if they didn't see them like mass producing cheap goods of some kind.
Well, that could have something to do with the fact that the show was meant to sell cheap, mass-produced Chinese goods.
Maybe so. I mean,
Hey,
I do feel like,
Let's throw a bone to our production staff.
although they do a point where they're like, they do the kung fu thing and they show a bunch of acrobats and like women doing like the sort of ribbon gymnastics. They don't make a joke about Chinese food, and so I feel like, considering how bad this show was about,
It's probably animated in China.
yeah, I'm just like glad that they did
Yeah,
it,
it's not in
because
Decent chance.
I'm like, I feel like we should give them some points for
Sure.
not doing that, considering how poor the previous episode was.
Sure.
So, yeah, okay, so
The
guy gives her the earrings.
They brought me much wealth. May they do for you the same.
Yeah, he's like, here. And then she puts them on, and she stands in a very strange...
Synergy.
strangely
Engage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Darn.
Synergy's not there, because they're
It's
not real.
synergy.
And then what happens?
Well, let's see. Jerica is despondent again.
Mm-hmm. And I was just like, whatevs, let's go see some art.
Is it Aja who suggested that as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So she wants to see.
The Ming Dynasty historical artifacts,
Yeah.
which, it is remarked, must be outrageous.
Yes.
Yeah. By Kimber.
Thanks, Kimber. I'm to the point now where I'm just like, shut up, Kimber. Every time she says outrageous, because she has this like way of saying it that makes you want to like punch her right in her boob. Just like, shut up, Kimber, tit punch. But okay, so they do that. They go see the Ming Dynasty.
And amongst the Ming Dynasty artifacts is the gemstar earrings.
Dun dun dun.
Now,
Once again, they've been like cataloged and put on display.
in whatever time frame this was.
In like
Yeah.
half a day.
And
And if you know anything about like archaeological research,
years.
yeah, really,
And like not plastic.
right.
Well, in the factory they
What
posited
they're-
that they were rubies.
But then the other
Which-
guy is like, no,
Oh.
there's some cheap thing.
Okay. Now, in this display case, everything else in the Ming Dynasty exhibit
Uh-huh.
is under glass, as one would expect for priceless artifacts.
Right.
Gemstar earrings.
Uh-huh. They're just out
just
there.
They're
sitting
just
on a
sitting
table.
out, but there's an alarm.
There's an alarm. Well, yeah, because
Like a pressure alarm.
Gem and the holograms, it's a friggin' Indiana Jones situation. They're like, oh, it's my earrings. I'll just
Just
steal
grab
them
'em.
under cover of
Nothing.
middle-
Under cover of nothing.
under cover of middle of the day in front of armed guards.
Yeah, and she
It's
didn't
like-
even put the bag of sand there to like keep the pressure down.
And she even has a fake pair that she just got.
That's true.
She could have just
I didn't
put
think
them
of
in
that.
there.
Jesus Christ. She's so stupid it kills me. Oh my god.
Unsurprisingly, they're caught.
Immediately. They're caught immediately.
Well, their first instinct is, an alarm, let's run!
Yeah.
And then the mean Chinese guard is like, you are
There's a lot of
arrested.
mean Chinese guards in this episode.
Which, to be fair, there's... if you break a lot of laws in China,
I
you'll
suppose-
probably find a lot of mean Chinese
It's
guys.
true.
I suppose so.
Yeah. Just ask Ai Weiwei. But, I think that, like, he, like, yells at her, like, all decisions are final.
Yeah. It sounds like he's gonna execute them all on the spot.
Well, they protest that they're her earrings, and he's like, oh, you must be a Ming Dynasty princess.
Mm-hmm.
And
She's like, kind of.
she's like, well, she should have been like, well, yes, I am. Synergy. Ming Dynasty outfit turn on. But no, that wouldn't work. But yeah, so they're white. They're allowed to go to the museum curator, who's like, yeah, don't worry about it. They're white. It
Yeah.
checks out.
They're white and these are fake.
And these are clearly fakes. It's frankly flabbergasting that anybody thought that these, plastic with advanced silicon microcircuitry was anything other than, what it is.
But, and then
Sure.
the
Wait, no, actually this was a knockoff, so this wouldn't have the super hologram stuff, but it
the
was still a plastic
museum
knockoff.
the museum assistant is like, but sir, they're so sparkly. It's like,
And then he becomes the meat in a hologram sandwich.
yeah, oh no, that did happen.
What?
They're like, yee, and then
Oh,
they all
yeah.
rush him to
That's
hug him at
true.
the same time, and he is like, girls, this is very undignified.
Yeah, why did they include that?
But could I have an autograph?
Yeah, he says, but could I have an autograph?
And an orgy?
Yeah.
I'll settle for the autograph.
Yeah. It seems like he might have been like, oh no, my boner.
Keep it together, man. Keep it together.
So Jericho once again despondent.
Yeah.
Because these are not the earrings.
They're not the right earrings.
No.
But
But it's time for the concert.
yes, and at this point
So they go to the concert venue?
they're gonna tell them that they can't go on.
Oh, also, as previously mentioned, being exonerated by the museum curator. Outrageous.
It was outrageous. Thanks, Kimber. Okay, so they go to the concert venue and Rio's like pleading with the guy. He's like, they'll be here.
5 more minutes, man. 5 more minutes.
Yeah, he's like me in the morning when I don't want to get up. Like, come on, just 5 more minutes. Please. And then what happens, babe?
Let's see. Lynn, is that her name?
Yep.
Lynn? Lynn is there.
Chekhov's Muppet.
And she's being harassed by some hooligan youth. But then she, like, kung fu's him into submission.
And everybody claps.
And random children around her applaud, who I guess are her friends. Her relationship to them is never really fleshed out.
I did like, because Jericho was going to intervene.
Yeah.
But Lynn was just, like, laid the smack down by herself, and I was like, approved.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Jericho compliments her on her bravery.
And she says, it's all in a day's work for a bat-grown assassin.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so Lynn says that Jim and the Holograms are her favorite band.
She does.
And what does Jericho say?
What is with you, kid?
Josh just made the face of, like, I have no fucking clue.
It's a very specific question.
Well, she's basically like, oh, I'm sorry, Jim and the Holograms
That's right.
won't be able to perform. Because Jim, like, had bad luck. Because Lynn had previously referred to her earrings as her good luck charm. And, like, was it Kimber or one of the Holograms was like, man, you gotta get those from her. And she's like, they're probably just fake.
Right. It's weird that the first 2 times they were like, oh yeah, it's definitely this one. And this time they're like, nah, it's probably fake this time.
They, like, really, really gave up.
Like, after the first 2. Even though they saw 3 pairs initially, right? There was one for each misfit. So by the process of elimination, this ought to be the one.
Well, to be fair, they've also seen 1 million pairs being produced, which, given the show's timelines, that million pair has probably already gained sentience and ascended to another planet or something like that.
That's true.
But yeah, at any rate, they're like, well, yeah, I can't perform.
Yeah. But anyway, Lynn gives Jerica her good luck charm gemstar earrings, which were given to her by her father,
Garbage man.
who was a garbage collector.
I guess.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
And lo and behold.
And even though Jerica thinks, oh, they're probably fakes, Synergy starts talking to her through the earrings.
Saying,
and then
yo.
she generates crazy outfits for them.
And again, now Synergy can project holograms. Apparently doesn't need to be on Gem. It's not like
Anybody.
It's not DNA coded that it has to be Jerica.
Right.
And can evidently perceive the environment around, I assume, again, the earrings.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And did not care to, assist in the search process.
That would be cheating.
Prior to this.
So.
But yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah. And she gives everyone vaguely sort of Chinese kind of outfits.
Yeah.
And then they run.
Just racist enough.
Yeah. Just sort of inspired, whatever. And then Jim goes running over to Rio. Mm-hmm. And for once they don't make out, they just hug.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess maybe it's because he saw Jerica. Although she was just kind of like, fuck you. And he's like, I wish I knew what was happening. And she's like, well, you never will. And then she left.
Maybe he was being a little more pathetic than usual.
Yeah. It looked like he
that
needed...
just turns her on more.
He just needed a like, wah, wah, wah trombone underneath him. Okay. And so they run over and they're like, we're here. Even after the dude's like, I guess we're gonna have to let Pizzazz and her like super wackadoo dress perform. And then they're like, haha, we're here. And then they're like, suck it, misfits. And then they go on.
They really rub it in.
Mm-hmm. And then they do a song that starts off kind of like, dun 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 dun. And you're like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, plus a gong.
Plus a gong.
The song is Love Unites Us.
Love
and
Unites
it's about
Us.
Jerica's love for Lynn.
It really does have some creepy romantic
They're like
undercurrents.
hanging out in a gondola.
They're like,
on the,
like swinging each other back and forth in the middle of, a sunlit meadow, and, on the bow of the Titanic saying, my heart will go on, and
rushing towards each other through a flower field while the Romeo and Juliet overture plays.
It's a little... You could read it in a couple of different ways, but it's still not quite as creepy as the synchronized head bobbing of the unblinking audience members.
Yeah, that is
apparently they not only do they enjoy synchronized head bobbing, but in China everyone also enjoys turtlenecks. Because that is what they were all wearing.
Fair.
Well, you can animate every single person in the audience, or just like copy the one.
Well, you just reuse the turtleneck. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, and she dedicated the song to Lynn.
Yeah, and everybody around her was like, "Oh, Lynn."
It was like, Lynn, that's you.
She really is into you.
Okay, so what happens after the song is over?
Well, she's like signing autographs after.
Right.
And Lynn looks real weird. She's like obstructed from coming forward for a minute, and she looks... What's going on with her?
It's animated weird.
Yeah.
Because it looks like maybe she's like caught in a force field.
Again, her face is kind of like she's had a stroke or something like that.
She's not as bad as Bonnie was when she was about to lose her eyesight, because Bonnie was just like, oh, Jerica, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm such a muppet. And this little girl's just like, have my good luck charms.
Yeah.
So the patheticness level is not quite as high, which is good.
Yeah.
Because that got kind of old.
True.
And then it's like, is it over?
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Jerica gives her
a fake
pair of the earrings.
And she's
And she says she'll never take them off.
Which, again...
It's a bad idea.
Also has the creepy undercurrents to it.
Yeah.
Like, kid, your ears are going to turn green.
He's like, I don't care. I will give you my ears once they fall off.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's terrible. Okay, so what are we at? It's still going, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so before we get into outrageousness levels, I just want to do a little mini review of the Gem comic book. It's really good.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, it's is it Dark Horse?
Plausible.
Yeah, I'm not, I can't remember, but there's a Gem comic book that's going right now, and it's, like, really great. I think it's, like, it's suitable pretty much for all ages, because it's, there's some kissing, but that's about it. And it does actually, like, answer some of the questions that we, like, continually have about Gem. Like,
does it start from the outset?
It does start from the outset.
Like, why does she care about having this alter ego?
Yes. Why does she have this, like, secret...
Is it to keep the secrets from falling into the Ruskies' hands?
It is because, Jerica has terrible stage fright, so that is why she needs, like, she needs to perform as an alter ego.
That's a plausible explanation.
It's more plausible than no explanation. And then there also is some discussion about how, like, Synergy is, like, really advanced technology, and they can't, like, let it fall into the wrong hands, and... That's
the Ruskies' angle.
Yeah, and Kimber and Stormer are, like, in a relationship, and there's, like, there's some, like...
Kimber less annoying.
Yes. Kimber's adorable. There's like body diversity, and that like
This-
everybody's not skinny and tall, so that's like great. And
This may sound racist, but in the cartoon, I can't tell the holograms apart.
well, I mean, everyone has the same sort of style. I mean, Shane is like obviously black.
The kabuki
But-
style, basically.
Yeah, but like they're all like, you know, tall and skinny, and like there's just like one style of body for women and one style of body for men. And they're definitely doing like, you know, Kimber like looks like kind of like a kid, you know, and like Stormer is like a sort of like short like fat girl. She's like mega styled. Like I'm just like Stormer from the Gem like comic is like my new style icon. She's the best. And yeah, it's really well animated. Like I think it's not animated, but the art is like really cool. And Rio's like a journalist, which gives him like a sort
He's
of
not the manager.
Eric Raymond just showed up, and I was like, woo. But yeah, it's good. I would definitely recommend it to anybody who like the show.
And remember, that's the comics, not the movie, which is
No,
bad.
not the movie, which we're gonna get to.
None of us have seen it. I don't
No,
think.
we're gonna
Have you
get.
seen it?
I promised that we would watch it after the first season.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah. So, but
Who did you promise that to?
Stay tuned.
I promised it I promised
to
it
our
to
loyalists.
The
To
viewing,
the loyal
viewing
listeners.
public. Me,
Yeah.
you know.
I promised Adam that we would watch this thing.
All right,
Get to the
fair
movie, guys.
But yeah, and I think that it's a great comic, especially for little girls, or anybody who's like interested in
In
like
little girls.
no, anybody who's interested in like more feminine kind of interests, like clothes and you know stuff like that. It's like really good. It keeps the like spirit of the original and takes out the stuff that we're like, why the fuck did they do that? Okay, so
All right.
back to the show that we just watched.
Wait. Are there things in your notes that you wanted to get to but didn't?
Not really. You know, the grand themes like deceit and revenge and identity, but I think we've mostly touched on those so far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the outrageousness scale, and then we're going to do a winner and a loser.
Now the scale is 1 is not outrageous.
1 is
Two,
like...
2 is outrageous. 3 is truly outrageous. 4 is truly outrageous, and 5 is truly outrageous.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's say that. 1 is not outrageous at all. So, like, 1 is the least, 5 is the most. Adam, why don't you go first?
I called it truly outrageous.
So that would be a 3?
That's actually a 4.
Oh, okay.
1 point for the Misfits' continued rampage, which
Yes.
is always appreciated. 1 point for the casual disregard for coherent chronology and basic continuity. And then another point for the destruction of priceless historical artifacts, a museum heist in broad daylight, in full sight of security, and maybe some racism.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you break it out like that. It really sounds like quite a bit.
What do you think, babe?
What was that you said?
That was truly outrageous for 4 points.
I was gonna say a little bit less, but I think
Okay,
Adam
folks.
has persuaded me.
Persuaded you to a 4?
Yeah.
Well, the weird thing about the show is that it just plays
It's
it off
not
so
like-
blasé. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course the Misfits are going to endanger people's lives. You know,
Yeah.
they're Misfits. That's what they do. It's like the wind blows. Are you going to
I
make
feel
a
like
big
you
deal
have to
about
grade
that?
on a curve
That's true,
for
'cause,
that.
like, people's lives are put at risk in every episode, definitely. But
you just get inured to it all.
but like cultural artifacts aren't destroyed in every episode.
That's
Sometimes
true.
it's just like movie sets or stages or something.
Do
Yeah.
they, or if cultural artifacts are destroyed, would they ever make a big deal about it?
No, they never have.
That's never been a plot.
It seems
Point.
like there were conditions under which they might make a big deal of it. Like if it was the Liberty Bell or something, they probably would.
Well,
it's
if
totally
it was
because it's a
something
Chinese thing that
American.
they're like not.
The like French gargoyle they didn't care about either.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of gargoyles.
I know, but you know,
I guess there's a lot of
it
Buddha
could have
statues,
been
too.
like super old.
I
Like,
mean,
you
like-
wouldn't
No,
want them
that's
to do
true.
that.
And like, if you go to China and you're like, okay, how many human eyeballs can I get for this Buddha statue? I'm sure the answer is more than 2.
Huh.
I I don't even know what to say to that. So I'm just gonna move on.
Well, that was the framing device for like the first 5 episodes, right?
Human eyeballs?
What's her name? Bonnie or whatever.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Bonnie's eyeballs. How soon we forget.
Which again, I'm convinced was a scheme.
on Bonnie's part.
Well, it's like, oh yes, she's going blind. She needs this experimental surgery, or else yes, the eyeballs will.
Oh, on the doctor's part.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctors seem like total scam artists.
Yeah.
Because they were going to accept the deed to their mansion as payment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's not how
that's
anything works.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Dongo Yaro of Nigeria, and if you send me $10,000, I can give you a new pair of eyeballs.
Like what? Like the thing.
Will this manner work?
The one thing that they didn't do in this episode that they have done multiple times in the past is like weirdly overly explain some adult thing that you like would like not expect them to explain about. Like like here's a promissory note and the deed to my mansion, and it's like, why would you even get into that?
Yeah.
Or like, hey guys,
little girls love promissory notes.
Let's talk about how the unions work.
In a way, the whole show is like that, in that a lot of it is just like, oh, they're on stage and stuff, but a certain amount of it is like, okay, now they've got to do this thing that like big pop stars have to do that's not actually particularly compelling in itself.
But they're like, we have to promote our album, but then promoting their album turns into like roller skating and punching people in the face.
Yeah, I mean, it winds up playing out in a way that involves, child endangerment and
every time
property damage and things. But
what do you think the Starlight Girls are doing while they're in China?
probably not being put at risk of life and limb, unlike normal times.
Do you think they like go to school?
No, they probably don't go to school.
Could be like one of those
don't they have to
homeschool things.
Don't they have to clean the place? It seems like they spent a lot of time cleaning the place before.
And like serving as waiters for parties.
I think
It's
that the Starlight Girls might actually just be like a form of cheap domestic labor.
They're like, it's like the Scientology school.
Do you think all the locks are on the wrong side of the door?
Yeah, probably so.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so I haven't done the outrageousness scale yet. I'm gonna give it a 3, and because
It's really outrageous.
It's average, I think, for the show.
That's probably true.
Yeah. Okay. So Adam, show winner. Who's the winner?
Show winner.
Yeah. Who won this episode?
So just. Well, we all won, Allie, but we got to watch Jim. Okay, so not Rio.
No, it's never Rio.
Not the Misfits. They always have their from Hell's Heart I Stab at Thee moments, which are always fun. But I think there's a case to be made that they are like the dog chasing after the car. That if they ever actually succeeded, they wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
That's possible.
That's true.
It's Lex Luthor and Superman. They're like, no, don't you see?
They're continually locked in a terrible battle.
And that's what brings out both the best and the worst of them.
It's true.
Is the best their ability to almost kill people?
I think both the best and the worst involves, why you want to be wearing a poncho if you get the front row seats to the Misfits concert, because you will be drenched in blood by the end of it. But I don't think they won the episode. Maybe... Well, okay, that factory owner.
That's totally what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You're going to say the factory owner?
Yeah. He became a very wealthy man.
Followed by the museum curator, who got more action than he's gotten in the last 20 years or so.
I was going to say Eric Raymond.
Why?
Because he apparently drops the Misfits off and then fucks off for the rest of the episode.
Oh, that's true. He never shows up again, does he?
No. So he's just
he always seems irritated by them. So.
Yeah. So he got to go have maybe a nice vacation.
Yeah, he probably just did the tourist stuff.
Yeah.
I could also see a case for Lynn, because that she surreptitiously cut a lock of Jim's hair off while she wasn't looking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
She's
like-
gonna like be able to like be the queen of the school.
And then she sews it into her torso so that they'll be together forever.
Whoa.
Into her torso? Oh my god. This shit gets dark when Adam's here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Adam.
It's all right there on the screen. I'm
Oh my
surprised
God.
You don't see it.
All right, episode loser.
Rio.
Surely it's Rio. Yeah.
Rio.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Jerica's because she's such a dodo, but she does end up getting her earrings back.
Rio is just so pathetic in this one,
Yeah.
even more than usual.
They make
When he's
text the
pleading.
subtext of like no one will tell me what's going on.
Yeah, and when he's pleading for them to go on, like for them to just like wait a little bit longer, you're kind of like, why are you even like holding out for them anymore, Rio? Like nobody respects you.
I'll say runner-up is whoever the next person to go through customs was, because he was getting a hell of a probing and beating.
Yeah, that dude was pissed.
It's true.
Also, let's see, losers. Anyone who enjoys
The rickshaw drivers.
that too. Anyone who
Anybody that's poor in general.
that's always true. Anyone who enjoys historical statuary.
Yeah.
Buddha. Buddha
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a great loser.
Buddha's the loser. All right. Is there anything else you want to say in summary? Anybody?
That's
You think we covered it?
I think we've hit all the bases, yeah.
All right. The next episode is the skiing contest episode.
Last resorts.
Oh my god, is that what it's really called?
yeah. It's called Last Resort.
Hell yes. I am ready. I'm ready for this. After the slog through the fucking boring movie episodes where it's just like, oh my god. I'm ready.
They had that Welcome to the Jungle song. It can't be all bad.
It's true, but like it was so long. And like yeah, no, it was not my favorite. Okay.
And the
so
plot about the Union.
oh my god. And they're like, Errol Flynn.
Is it true what they say about paprika?
Oh my god. Alright, so you can find us on Facebook if you look for That Computer Is Your Mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's it.
Signing off.
Signing off. This
Yep.
has been Allie.
Josh.
Adam.
Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Jim is my name.